Okay, Who Am I presentation by David Zimlansky. Artifact number one, my French horn. I play Paxman French horn. I was in band all through middle school and high school and majored in music playing French horn in college. So that's a pretty solid part of my identity. And it's funny because if you listen to a recording, some of the elements of identity are invisible. You can't tell a person's sexuality, uh, how much money they make, their race, their gender. You can't tell many of those elements of identity by listening to the product of what music is. So, but at the same time, musicians have such a huge culture. I mean, band nerds, chorus nerds. If you guys have ever been in music, you understand that. So, kind of a paradox in there. Second artifact, Eagle Scout. I am an Eagle Scout. In fact, on my desk, there's a paperweight that says there is no end to the Eagle Scout Trail. And a lot of the ideals from my upbringing in Boy Scouts of America are still very much a part of my life. The emphasis on great character, doing your very best, that sort of thing. And of course, some of the activities too, like hiking and camping, still very much enjoy those. So, Boy Scouts is, I could say, is definitely a part of my identity as well. I love my Pitbull lady, excellent dog, a little bit hyper, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I've had 3 Pitbulls in my life, all very sweet dogs that go against the stereotype. Of course, I acknowledge that if a Pitbull bites you, you have a lot of pounds per square inch, and so it can do a lot of damage compared to a smaller dog. But in general, all 3 really, really sweet dogs that I rescued from the SPCA. Although our SPCA doesn't euthanize dogs, I say rescue because it's definitely not exactly the home that I would want to live in. But they've also rescued me too. I can't imagine my life without those dogs. Yup, the struggle is real. So I was born in Canada, but I identify as a Floridian and as an American, even though I still have Canadian citizenship. But as far as the weather goes, we have basically 9 months of summer and then 2 or 3 months of winter. So there's a very sudden element to how the cold weather comes in. The humidity is still there, and so it feels colder than it really is. And of course, you have the physiological element of being used to that incredible heat. And you don't have, between not having the transition period into winter that some places have, it definitely hits you. But at the same time, it's still great weather. So staying positive is definitely part of my identity. Me Talk Pretty one day, although that sounds like it might be a special needs book, it's really just a collection of funny short stories by David Sedaris, who sees life a little bit differently than most people do, I think. He can see dark times in moments of laughter, and you can see incredibly inspiring, funny moments, even in dark moments. So I have employed that in not only in my classroom to help students get through tough times, but in general, I definitely identify with David Sedaris, trying to see the positive. And sometimes when things are going really well, it's okay to look and say, this is kind of ridiculous, even though things are going very well too. So I can identify with David Sedaris in that way, but the general element of staying positive is huge in my life and in my teaching as well. I was trying to think of ways to talk about things like race and class that I identify with. So as far as class, it's not like I'm driving around in a Lamborghini or a Mercedes or anything. I'm pretty solidly middle class and don't necessarily crave that higher end luxury items. So this is my car. I love it to death. Just a Honda, but incredibly fun to drive and gets pretty good gas mileage too. That was how I tried to hit on class as well in this presentation. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching.